Alright, so look, y'all, real quick. First of all, today's a home inspection day. I'm a home inspector today, so hence the gear. I just finished one inspection, and then I got another one in about an hour. But I was having this thought talking to a student of mine about driving for dollars, right? So for those of you who don't know, driving for dollars is basically like a marketing strategy, right? A free way to generate leads, pretty much. So you riding around looking for houses, whatever the case may be. It's been taught, it's nothing new, right? But I just wanted to share with you all some tips about driving for dollars and how that strategy has evolved over time for me, right? So when you starting out, again, you hear everybody talking about going drive for dollars, just find bandos, houses that are boarded up, whatever the case may be. Blase, skip. Nobody really talks about for sale by owners, but if you see those signs in the yard, you know those too, or whatever the case may be. Same thing I heard and I learned when I was starting out, right? So that's what I did. I went out, and if your city is anything like mine, I mean, I can go to some block. Look, there go 2 or 3 of them right there. Some blocks, I can go down. The whole block are bandos. You know what I'm saying? So I could have a ton of addresses just from that one block. But what I've learned from years of doing this and how my process has evolved, like I still drive it. I drive for dollars out of fun because I enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing the city. A lot of you don't know, I didn't primarily live here for the last several years, so I just enjoy hitting corners like that. That's why my name is House Hunter, because I just like that, right? But when I go out driving for dollars or looking for properties, my process is a lot different than just go out and find bandos. For number one, I'm gonna give you 3 tips. So number one, I always talk about with this marketing thing, you gotta have a plan. Like this free for all, I'm gonna just get in the car and drive shit. It don't work. Great idea, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work well, I should say. It's not the most efficient, effective way of going about it. In terms of your plan, the first thing that you gotta know is where. Like before I can know who I'm gonna market to or how I'm gonna market to them, where am I gonna be marketing to? So again, just if you in Cleveland, just getting in the car and saying, I'm on the east side, I'm gonna ride across Lee Road, the Kingsman, like that's not gonna cut it. You gotta be focused, you gotta be targeted. Where are you focusing on? Where are you gonna be deploying your marketing? Is that going to be in 44120? Is that going to be in 44128? Are you going to only be focusing on a certain segment within those markets? Like, where is your market? Only drive where you're going to be focused. So it don't make no sense for you to be driving for dollars in Bedford if you know that you're focusing on the Kinsman area. Does that make sense? When you're starting out, it's too much to be that broad. I'm telling you, you gotta get focused and you gotta keep it tight when you're starting out so that you can perfect the process. Once you perfect the process, you can go anywhere and do it. So again, if you've identified 44120, 44105 as your target market where you're going to be actively searching for properties and looking to reach out to sellers and things like that, it don't make no sense for you to waste no time driving in Warrensville. Talking about you driving for dollars. No, you wasting time. Feel me? So that's number one. Be targeted. Know where you're focusing on. Number 2, know what you're looking for, right? Like I said, whenever you hear about driving for dollars or whenever people talk about it, it's basically like the way that they frame it is like you looking for just bandos, right? And I get it, but here's my thought on that, right? Like, again, like I said, in Cleveland, there are so many bandos. I don't need to drive for dollars for bandos. I got like my own list of the bandos in the city. I don't need to get out. Again, that's a waste of time. I don't need to drive for dollars to find bandos. What am I looking for though? So I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for properties that look like they are rentals. So typically 2-family properties, properties that the yard is likely not kept because the tenants don't care enough to keep it up. They got stuff hanging all outside your yard. That whole thing. Like, I'm looking for properties that, like, to me stand out as rental properties. I'm also looking for properties that need work, right? So they might be somebody's living there, but the roof needs to be done, or the porch needs to be done, or I can see the siding is coming apart, or whatever the case may be. Like, those are the type of people that I'm looking to connect with right now. I'm not looking to connect with these absentee owners of Bandos. I already know who y'all are. There's no point in me wasting my time again trying to drive to find, like, you could hardly drive. You would have to, at every house, you would be literally writing down the address. So when I go out, I know exactly where I'm going to look at. Like, the other day I was driving and I went to this new area that I have been seeing a lot of activity on the MLS, but I hadn't physically got a chance to be over there. So I went over there just to check it out, and sure enough, I saw some good stuff going on. So over there again, I didn't write down the Bandos. I wrote down the addresses of a couple of properties that I could tell that people started the rehabs, weren't able to finish them. A couple of properties that, again, I could tell were likely tenant occupied, and they were kind of being like let go a little bit, not maintained properly. Like, those are the addresses that I wrote down. So when I came home, I had less addresses than I would have had if I would have been looking for Bandos. But guess what? I probably have better prospects in terms of who I'm going to be reaching out to. Better prospects than if I would have wrote down every Bando. Does that make sense? So not only do I know where I'm looking, where I'm targeting, I'm only driving in those areas. I know exactly what I'm looking for. So if you know that you have buyers and you've connected with people who are looking for turnkey, like, not to say not to write the Bandos down, but like, why not focus on exactly what the buyers are looking for? Again, if your city look anything like Cleveland, if anybody ever come to you and need and ask for a Bando, like, you're gonna be able to get that to them quickly, no problem. But if you already have made contact and have started to form a relationship with people who are looking for more turnkey properties, or properties that don't require a full rehab, why go out driving writing down Bandos just to say, oh, I found 20 addresses, and you're not gonna fucking look them up, call the owner or nothing? So again, another waste of time. So that's number 2. Number 3, I was just leading up into my third point. Don't bother going driving if you're not going to look up the information. Realize when you are driving, you are only getting the address. So if you're not going to look them up and really track down the owner, it's a waste of time. And when you're doing that, this is what I see people do. Like, this is how you know I really be coaching, because when I say it, you're going to be like, ooh, I do this too, right? So person will go out, drive for dollars, get them, 30, 40 addresses, right? They come home and get to researching it like they motherfucking Johnny Cochran or something, like writing down every little thing, writing down the square footage and the bed, all of this and all of that. And I'll be like, for what? That's a waste of time. All of that information is listed clearly in black and white on the auditor site or on Zillow or wherever. Why do you need to write that down? That's a waste of time. Like, it don't seem like nothing large, but again, when you got 30, 40, 50 properties that you're trying to look up and find the contact information for, you don't have time to be writing down the full history of each property. You don't need that. What you need to do is be making contact with the owner. All of that, like, you don't need a whole fucking file on a property that you've not even made, any contact on. That's, again, a waste of time, right? So this, like, in order to be effective, I'm big on time and efficiency of time, because again, I've been doing this long enough and I just know what works and I know what's efficient and effective, and I know, what can work, but it's not the best way to do it, right? I always talk about, in your marketing plan, when you're setting it up, pick a strategy that you're actually gonna do. If you know that, you'll ride around and get the addresses, but you're not gonna call, it's a waste of time. You may as well not even, like, you don't gotta tell me or post about it or nothing, but just within yourself know, like, I know, like, I'm not about to look these people up. I'm not gonna call them, so I'm not even gonna play with myself or waste my time. Or let me connect with somebody who will call. Like, if I find the information, maybe they will call. Like, if it's not driving for dollars, don't do that. That's only one strategy. And people like to live and die by the free strategies, which I feel, but if you're not gonna do it, it don't matter if you're not paying for it. It's still not gonna net you any return. You know what I'm saying? So that is how my driving for dollars process has evolved over the years. It doesn't look like it looked like when I first started, and it doesn't look like what you hear people talking about driving for dollars in these days. Like, you gotta be strategic. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, again, have a plan, be focused, be targeted. All of this just doing whatever, wherever to say that you did it, that ain't it. I always, obviously, yes, encourage action, taking action, but I'm also a big fan of working smarter, not harder. Okay? So 3 tips to maximize your driving for dollars. Focus on a specific area. Don't be driving all over the place. Number 1. Number 2, know exactly what you're looking for. If it's not Bandos, then don't write down the Bandos. Focus on whatever else you're looking for. Number 3, actually do the work. Actually look the people up. Do the research. Don't bother doing it if you aren't going to actually make contact with the people. Okay? Peace. Y'all be blessed.